Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on the first official episode of Dole Whip Destinations with your co-hosts Trent,
Tiffani,
and Kasey. All right, well, welcome to our first episode of Dole Whip Destinations.
Hello.
We're going to start off with, who are we? Who the heck are you guys? You
who
kick
are
us
you
off.
guys?
So we're Trent,
Tiffani.
We're in Florida. We go to the parks all the time, or at least whenever we can. We're a couple, we're engaged.
Almost 8 years together. It's kind of crazy.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. We've both known Kasey a very long time. We're all friends. We go to Disney as often as we can.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to how we all met. I'm Kasey. I'm in Brooklyn, but that doesn't stop me from coming to Disney 4 times a year at least.
Yep.
And I come with all the spreadsheet vibes. You know, I am OCD when it comes to my planning.
Every outfit.
Photos of every outfit.
Literally photos of every outfit.
For myself to reference.
For the time of day. And what park.
Well, there's 3 different outfits you need. You need a morning, a chill afternoon, and then a night outfit. So yes, they all need to be documented with photos. Makes packing much easier.
For sure.
I agree.
All right, well, let's get into how did the 3 of us meet? Tiff, I think we'll start with us.
Yeah.
We met in what grade was it?
4th grade.
4th grade.
Crazy.
So we were 9.
Yes.
We were trying to do
and
the math.
For reference, I'm 31. Kasey's 32.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to do the math. We said that's what,
23?
Yeah, 23 years.
20.
Yeah. Still
20.
Don't know if that's right, but it's around there.
It's the magical Jordan number, so we'll take it.
Hey.
Over 20.
But yeah, Tiffani and I met in 4th grade. We were next door neighbors. And I've been going to Disney with Tiffani, I think, since like the 4th grade. It was probably like our first
Many
trip.
Different versions of those trips, you know?
Oh, actually, wait, let's talk about that. So what is the first time you guys remember going to Disney?
Ever in general?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think the first time I went to Disney that I can I know that I've been there probably like way back in like 1990, like I think like 3 or something like that. I don't remember that, but I'm pretty sure the first time I remember it had to have been like 1998. It was somewhere around 1998 for me.
That's so
how old were you? How old were you?
How old was I? I mean, because I was a little bit older, so I remember I was like in 1998. I want to say I was like 10. I think it was like 10 or 11.
Formative
I think the
years.
biggest, yeah. So the thing I remember the most when I went to Disney, at least, way back then, was Splash Mountain. So that's I remember. Yeah, I think I have a picture, honestly, with me and my mom somewhere. I should find that because we have a picture of us on Splash Mountain. I think it's from 1998.
If we find it, I'll insert it right here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know if I remember my like very first time in Disney because when I was younger, we were Busch Gardens people.
Really?
We had the pass for Busch Gardens. I think because it was probably cheaper back then, you know, than going to Disney.
It's true.
But we did go to Disney every now and then, obviously, you know. I feel like I went maybe by myself, like without my family more, like, you know, on like youth group or like
but that was later in life.
That. But like I remember vividly going during a hurricane and there was like nobody at the parks, and that was like that was like probably around the time that maybe we met as well, like around that age.
They'll stay open.
That is a life hack for sure.
Yeah.
Like
for sure. There was nobody there. I'm pretty sure we stayed at Pop Century, and it literally looks exactly the same. In a good way.
Well,
I think
my first time, I think I was like 3 months or like 4. Like I was like fresh out of the womb. Like, you know, my brothers are significantly older than me, so they were 7 and 10 when I was born. So it was like the height of their time.
And you were free, because free until 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, my dad milked that for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I started around, I think he said it was like 3 or 4 months. And then we went like, I don't even know, 10 times a year, like until I was 10 or 12.
Fun fact, Kasey's dad is a Disney-holic. He loves Disney.
He turned me into, I'll try to insert a picture of my crib, but he got a mural painted behind my crib of like this huge Disney wall. So like it was from inception.
I feel like that's the second Disney trip I really remember is actually going with Kasey and her dad and this girl that used to be in our neighborhood, Ashley.
Shout out Ashley McKissick.
That was the first time I ever rode an upside down roller coaster, which was
crazy.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
That's your like real first, like second memory.
Wow. Yeah, because that was my first upside down roller coaster ever.
Dude,
I was terrified because we used to go to Busch Gardens all the time, and my mom goes on everything. So she would like make fun of me because I wouldn't go on the upside down roller coasters. And then I went with Kasey, and then she was like, "There's like barely any upside down things."
Wait, was it Rock and Roller Coaster?
What?
It was Rock and Roller Coaster?
Yeah.
Well, there's only
which was so fast.
Yeah, there's only one loop, so it's
like
there's not that many.
For a 10-year-old.
That's
for a
pretty
10-year-old,
good.
It's a lot. I could
yeah.
see that.
My first roller coaster was at the South Florida Fair, and it was the double loop roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it was put together.
That's intense.
They had loops?
13 minutes probably. It had 2 loops. I
think it only happened 1 year.
Oh,
ever.
It only happened 1 year. Yeah. Listen, it probably took 13 minutes to make, and they didn't have hammers. So when we went up there, I remember going up there, and it just kept clicking. And my mom was like, "Are you ready?" And I kept yelling, "I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to."
Yeah.
And then we went and did it, and ever since then, I was addicted. So the Rock and Roller Coaster only having a couple. I mean, it's fast, but it's like a good starter kind of, and it's a good
still holds
good roller
up.
coaster. Yeah.
No, we'll have time to talk about Rock and Roller Coaster because it's
hot
spoiler,
topic.
but it's going away, and I'm not.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to how do we meet? So Tiffani and I met in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
we were neighborhood kids hanging out, making forts. You know, Trent and I met.
Causing a ruck.
Yeah, we were little hood rats. Trent and I met in 2008. We like ran in similar circles, and I think we pinpoint that it was our friend Mike James who.
That's right.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Mike.
Love you, Mike.
Love you, little kitty.
But yeah, we ran in similar circles, so we had just like mutual friends, and our friend Jade was dating your best friend at the time. So yeah, and then we went about 10 years without really speaking. You know, we kind of
but weirdly too, I knew a lot of the same people. Because obviously, me, Kasey, and Jade were, the 3 best friends.
Well, yeah, even more they grew up in the same.
But I had never known Trent until Kasey resaw Trent years later.
So yeah, it was what 2017. 2017. I happened to run into Trent, and I was like, "Oh my God, small world! Haven't seen you in 10 years." A hurricane actually came. Hurricanes are a hot topic on this pod.
Yep. Hurricane Irma
came. and Trent, being his funny self, was posting just like funny content of like his experience of like the power going out. And I think
this guy was out driving in the streets in the middle of a hurricane when you were supposed to be inside. I'm pretty sure by like it was like 8 p.m. or something. There was a curfew.
Where
he's out here filming himself on Snapchat.
Where it happened is I was driving, and the video that kind of took off or whatever is I was at a stoplight, and there was a curfew, so there's nobody on the road.
And the streets are flooded.
There's a cop over on the side by a bank, or a few cops, and they're just parked. And I was at the stoplight, and the stoplight's blinking, and I just kept waiting for it to go green because I saw that there were police over there. I was like, I'm not going to run the red light. And it just kept blinking and blinking, and they just kept staring at me, and they got out the car and started staring at me. And then I just realized, like, oh, man. And I was recording myself the whole time, and I was like, oh, the lights are out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no one's outside.
No, and I was sitting there for a hot 2 minutes just waiting, just freaking out like, man, when is this thing going to go green? So that whole thing was recorded. I think that was one of like the videos. But yeah, I was basically driving around. I had to go to my dad's house for supplies, and I had no idea that there was a curfew. Like I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. I just knew there was a hurricane, and growing up down here, we don't take it too seriously.
But so Kasey ran into Trent, got his Snapchat. Obviously, me and Kasey hang out all the time. I'm seeing his Snapchat on her Snapchat. And I go, hey, send me a Snapchat. He's pretty cute. And then we all just start hanging out because, I mean, I knew Willie too. So actually, me and Kasey threw a party at her mom's house while she went out of town. I took all of my random bottles of alcohol, made a jungle juice, got Trent drunk.
I could still taste.
Oh my gosh. It was so much fun though.
It was.
Me and Trent had our first dance off. That was like one of our first memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Our dance song for our wedding is going to be Mask Off by
I was just gonna say, wasn't it it was Future, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who sings that?
Yeah.
Mask Off.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm
classic.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
And then
yeah.
we just all started hanging out for like it was probably about a year and until we got together.
Yeah.
Because we got together January 2018.
We all hung out for quite a bit. And I think Tiffany and I were going to Disney. And I don't know if Trent was like really about it to begin with. He was just like,
I think he was jelly.
He was just like, oh, I get why they go, but like, and then we like, I don't know if we like forced you the first time or if it was like willingly. I really don't remember.
No, I think honestly, and this is where you guys should work for Disney. I think that pretty much sold me on the idea.
Yeah.
Like, we were doing something one day, and you kind of just both pitched me, and it wasn't hard or far fetched for me to want to do it anyway, because I already was one of those people where me and my mom growing up, we would go to Universal like multiple times a year. So it's like I already like theme parks, I already like roller coasters, all that kind of stuff. So and I again, like most kids growing up in the 90s, I mean, you had no choice but to grow up with Disney. You know, you had two options. You're either watching Disney stuff or Nickelodeon. Everybody watched both. So you had no choice but to fall in love with Disney. It's part of your childhood if you're from that age range. But for me, it was pretty easy to transition over to that. You guys had this whole spiel, and then how much it cost per month.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure I was still broke.
Trent literally went from never going for I don't even know how many decades to becoming a pass holder with us.
Oh, that's
like
a whole
immediately.
Other, yeah,
there was no ticket one day. There was like no, he's a pass holder for the rest of the year.
It was almost like from right there we planned it out.
After that first trip, though, I really think you were sold. I think you saw that it doesn't have to be this like cringe thing that people like. And I think we can establish that we are not those type of Disney adults. No. And if you are, we love you. You know, but
of course,
we do it. Thing. We do it in a different way, you know.
We're just very lax about it. We're like not like rah. We have to do every single ride, every single food. Like we're just happy to be in the park.
Yeah.
And to walk around and go see different things. And then we do like our main things and then dip.
One thing that I know that we all agree on, whether it has to do with the theming of Disney, whether it's the movies, the characters, any of that kind of stuff, is it's every once in a while nice to get away from the monotony or the responsibilities of just the day-to-day things that you have to do as an adult. Like when you go to those places, you don't have to be a child to enjoy it. I think it gives you the ability to be able to just escape for a second and just not have to worry about what's going on. Like,
and speaking of that, I feel like it feeds your inner child.
It does
so much. You get to literally, like he's saying, not think about all the responsibilities and just go have fun. Go think about what ride am I going to go on? What food am I going to have next?
Well, that's your biggest concern, you know? Is like,
exactly. You're not thinking about work or anything else.
Fire food am I going to eat today? You know, like that is your biggest concern. And it's also that it's like wrapped around being the happiest place. Like where else can you go where every single person that works there is out to make sure that you have a good day? You know,
and they do.
There's very few places that are like that and set up in that way, that their customer service is just top tier.
I totally agree.
So that's how we met. That's what about us. But
so basically we went one day and we never stopped.
But why did we choose to make a podcast? I will say that we, for years now, have had a group chat called Disney Gang. I think we have merch of it too. We have shirts. I think there's a hat or so.
Oh, yeah.
You want it? We got it.
But yeah, so we had a group chat going for a while, and we used that to like kind of like keep up to date with like the latest things that are happening or like planning our next trip and just Disney tings. And we noticed that we were quite funny, you know. I think that we had like good takes.
Naturally.
We had good takes. We were really like opinionated when it came to certain things. Yeah. And we were like, we need an outlet to share these things. And I think
I think how Trent was saying, like how we kind of sold him on it. Like not only Trent, like there's so many people that just because we love Disney, you know, we just talk to people in our day-to-days just about Disney, and then they're like, oh, like maybe I should go and like have a whole different kind of trip because I'm in a different mindset. You know what I mean?
I try to convert people all the time. I'm speaking the gospel of I'm out there speaking the gospel of what they got going on. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's the
I actually recently just had a coworker, Missy, shout out. Her boyfriend, her daughter, well, she had done a Disney race, which is amazing. But they ended up going to 3 parks and they are so in love. They can't stop talking about it. And now they're going to become a pass holder. And then they're just like, thank you so much for like giving me all this info. And I'm just like so happy to share it. You know what I mean?
I have a coworker where her and her boyfriend go to Universal all the time. I mean, she has Harry Potter tattoos, all that kind of stuff. They go all the time. But she lately has been thinking about transitioning, or not even transitioning, but also getting another pass to just kind of experimenting, seeing what it's like. She's been in the past. So she was asking me questions and I was letting her know that for most people that even go to Disney, they don't realize it. I mean, when you go into that Disney bubble, it's a completely different place. The transit is always on time. It's going to be where it says it's going to be. There's 5,000 different ways to get to where you're trying to go.
Oh, you don't need a car. Like,
I don't think I sincerely don't think I've seen,
best part.
I don't think I've seen trash on the side of the road anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever, like when we go on our trips, I don't know if you're ever looking, when I'm driving, I'm always looking at random stuff. I don't know if I've seen trash along the place. Those little details like go a long way with that kind of stuff. And the other thing why I think we kind of started it too, at least from my perspective, is we have a lot of knowledge and experience now. I mean, I told Tiffany, I think I mentioned it to you before, where there was one point in time where in 1 year we went to the park 17 times to all 4 parks. That's like 60,
probably more.
But that's like, of what I can remember. But if we just said 70,
last year I went 18 days.
Did you? 18 days?
Because I broke down my pass and it was
then we must have gone a lot.
$15 a day or something.
But that's
especially that year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But even but I know for a fact that there was one point in time where we went 17 times. But again, those 17 times we went to all 4 parks in one day.
Oh
that's like 62.
Yeah, we used to be wild.
That's like 62.
That was when they had fast passes. That was a different life.
And I was gonna say that initially. You know what? Hold on. That's one thing I was gonna say initially. The thing that changed my experience, and I can only say this now. That's a whole nother episode coming soon about what the change has been from my experience initially.
Yeah,
having that fast pass system. When people were like, "Oh, you spent your whole weekend at Disney," I was like, "Yeah, but I didn't wait in any lines.
Yeah,
I rode all 3 rides for 5 minutes, maybe. By the end of the 3rd one, we had another one queued up. We were already done. We used to go into the park, ride we would ride like 4, 3, whatever rides in like an hour and a half. And the biggest part was walking in between going to the next ride.
Yeah.
No, that was the glory days. That was it called Genie Plus? What was it called?
No,
it's Fast Pass.
It was just Fast Passes.
Just
because you got 3 with your, with the
but even after the 3, you get to do more after.
Yeah.
Well, once you use one, you could refill it.
Exactly. Basically. Well, once you checked in for that 3rd one, remember we would be in line. As soon as you check in, we were in line going, okay, are we going to park hop? That was part of the reason why we used to park hop. You can either do one here or you can do one in another place.
Another park.
Yeah.
But that's my perspective, or at least ours.
That'll be a whole nother episode. Is
the
disaster that is lightning lanes now? Because I have some strong opinions.
Sure, because we all have opinions about it.
All right. Well, we have gone way over, which is great. But I mean, let's talk about what's coming next. So if you're listening to this now, you should know that we're going to have like a nice structure for you guys every week. We'll do a little bit of games, a little bit of hot takes, some opinions, maybe a little argument, all in good fun. But Trent, take us out.
Well, thanks for listening to the first official episode of Dole Whip Destinations podcast.
Wow.
And remember, if you're listening this far, if you made it this far, you're one of us. You are. You got to accept it. And remember, you could find us on all platforms: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. So
we'll see you real soon.